Hey Presonus, I am Stone Mecca, and I want to say happy 10th anniversary to Studio One. I've been using Studio One since it first came around. It's the best DAW I've ever used. I want to say thank you to Perry T for having me be a part of this anniversary celebration. And the main thing I like about Studio One is its ease of use. And since the beginning, when I first was introduced to Studio One, I've been bragging about it ever since because, I've used a lot of DAWs and I've never gone back to anything else since I started using Studio One. Before Studio One came around, I was already a PreSonus lover. I had hardware. I still use the PreSonus VXP, which I'm sure is no longer made, but I use it for my mic, and it has the EQ compression, everything built in, and never had any problems with it. Studio One itself is I've seen how they do it. They have the actual guys that do production, the engineers and different things like that. They have them sitting there using Studio One. So what you get is anytime there's a problem or they come up with something like, man, this could be easier, they sit there and work it out and implement it into the system. So a lot of the thoughts that go into what we should do with this or what if we come across this, that's already been worked out. And as you use it, you see how easy, these things are. One of my favorite things is the ability to mix something, have a good mix, send it over to a mastering file in Studio One. And if you feel like, you're mastering something and you got to fix something in the mix and you can't do it in the master, you can go back to Studio One, that same mix, make changes, and then it will update the mastering file. And that's just like no other DAW does that. And I introduced that we were working on right now, the latest thing was the Hulu series for Wu-Tang. And I showed it to RZA and some other people, and they went on and downloaded Studio One right away. And we started using that more in the studio than even the other DAWs. And that was one feature I showed them that they were like, what, you can do that? So I know how important that is for people. The other thing is, like I said, the ease of use, that you don't have a lot of downtime with, when you're recording or doing whatever you're doing. It takes away from the artistic approach of what you're doing. So they made it where you can drag and drop your EQs, your instruments, anything, without having to go in and do a lot to do that. The other thing is, like when you record live drums or something like that, and you want to replace those drums with MIDI drums or sounds or whatever, it's so hard on other DAWs. This one is a window, you drag it in there, it finds the audio waves, and then it transfers it into MIDI files, and you can just add any kind of kick or snare, anything in there, change them up, and keep the same feeling of that human feel you get from a regular drum. The other thing is the scratch pad. That's another beautiful thing. You can have a mix, and you don't say like you have this over here, this side of it, it separates on the screen. I can show you right here if I hit it. So if I hit this over here, it makes another screen on this side, and you can go in and pull all of your files from over here, and have a whole nother mix going on, a whole nother setup without affecting your original setup. And that's priceless, because we go in, sometimes we might want to refer back to that, and you can't do it in another one. Another big deal, I keep bringing up a bunch of them, I'll be here all day, but you can actually have more than one song open without having to shut it down or close all the way one down and open another one. They can be right down here in a pop-up window where you can have all different songs open. You can just go to another one just like that, fix things, go back to another one. But like I said, I could be here all day explaining the beautiful things of Studio One. But my main thing is to come on and just say happy 10th anniversary. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing down there and how you're making it easier for us to do the things that we do. My whole Stone Mecca latest album, Alien Man, was done completely on Studio One. from the recording to the mixing to the mastering and everything. And the future projects that we're doing now will also be done on Studio One. I can't go anywhere else. There's no other DAW. The sound of it beyond the capabilities of it. Like I said, thank you Studio One for giving us a great product.